Hey guys, this is Breach. Welcome back to Let's Play Mother 1. Last time we rescued Pippi from the cemetery and brought her back to the mayor, who gave us $100 and asked us to go investigate the zoo. Now, since the last episode, I've ground up my levels a little bit so that I could actually handle what's going on up here. We got back at level 7. I gained another 5 so that, the boss of this area wouldn't just kind of steamroll us. There aren't too many bosses in this game, but there is one here, and he can be a bit of a problem if your HP isn't quite where it needs to be. It turns into a damage race with him, to be honest. So, the way you get to the zoo, you go northeast of Podunk here, and then you come to the path that leads directly north and a little bit west, I think. We'll see in a second. Yeah, a little bit north and west. And eventually we will run into a sign. Now, not like a, give me a sign, I need a sign for what direction to take my life. Not that kind of sign. Just a regular sign in the ground with a post and words on it and stuff. So that's when you'll know that you've gotten to where you need to go. There we go. There's our sign. Signs everywhere. There's signs. And there's animals attacking left and right. Stray dogs, snakes. Not really the zoo encounters yet. You'll see them here in a second. And they can be really nasty. I used them to grind, but I definitely didn't have the stats to just roll through here comfortably and get out safely. But you have the flowers here. You can't walk on the flowers. Quick note, technical note about the stray dog there. There are palette swaps of him later in the game that don't have the collar, and that's because that's actually two sprites at once. It's a collar sprite overlaid on the dog sprite. So, the more you know. Fun stuff. That's another way this game is a little revolutionary, is, using sprite additions to change up everything. Now, the monkey steals your key. You may think you need to go back and get another key. You don't. The lock's broken, you can just go through. If you went back after the monkey stole your key, he'd just give you another key. And then you'd still realize, oh, the lock's broken, I just wasted my time. Now, the hyenas here, not bad at all. They're probably the easiest enemies in the zoo. A lot of times they'll just laugh. They have an attack called Grin and Bear It. They'll bite you at this point for 1 damage. And this is before we have any armor on. We still haven't been able to get armor in this game. We will before too long, but yeah, and they'll also run away. If one of them succeeds in running away, they'll all run away. And here, I accidentally pressed the map button. I didn't know this game had a map. So, yeah. We're going to go ahead and increase the fight message speed, which I probably should have done a while back, but didn't. If I'm not going to cut out encounters, then I should probably make the encounter messages go faster. And elephants are one of the 2 to 3 strongest enemies in here. They're going to give you a buttload of experience for killing them. And you want to do that. They're one of the ones that whenever you're doing your grinding here, you get really excited about. But they have about 60 HP, and they'll hit you really hard. I think we run into the full gamut of encounters here on the way in. On the way out, you don't have to worry about encounters, which is nice, to say the least. Another little match against hyenas. Nothing special. You run into them a lot here. I think their encounter rate is weighted higher than any of the others in the area. There's about 6 or 7 different enemies you can encounter here. Elephants, hyenas, alligators, gorillas, tigers. Maybe something that I'm missing, but those are the ones I can remember off the top of my head. So you basically just want to go in a zigzag pattern through here. It's really simple maze. Don't bother stopping to look at any of the cages yet. It's just animals going crazy. There's a noise in the area that's making them all go nuts. So it's kind of like James Patterson's zoo. All the animals have something that's driving them insane, and they're attacking people, breaking loose out of their cages, just being unruly. And, you know, those unruly animals need to be put in their place, darn it. But you get all the way to the end of the fenced-in complex, and you have the zookeeper building, which is where we're going. It's where the noise that's driving all the animals insane is coming from. And we want to go ahead and go into each of the rooms here and clear them out, because there's stuff in them, and we like stuff. You're going to run into rats. They're the exact same rats that were in the basement. It's just you'll run into them in larger groups. Flies were the other enemy that I couldn't remember off the top of my head. And they will call for help, but they don't do squat for damage, have low HP, because they're flies. I mean, do I really need to say more about them? Anyway, you pick up a rope. I think that functions like the escape rope in Pokemon, where it just pulls you straight out of a dungeon that you're in, or pulls you straight back out of somewhere. I don't know. I don't really use it. You get a lot more items than you actually need in this game. And here are the flies. Fly B attacks, Fly A attacks, 1 damage. Woo! We're getting attacked by horse flies. Yeah, it's really a thrilling encounter, let me tell you. Especially whenever you're grinding and you're like, oh yeah, I need the experience. Oh, flies. Yeah, we got 1 experience for killing 2 flies. Not worth my time at all. In the least. Now, this room on the left up here is empty. Okay, yeah, it's the 3rd floor I'm thinking about. More flies. Ugh. Yeah, that's all you're really going to run into in this building is rats and flies. So that's why I haven't been too worried about healing up. Because, I mean, there's nothing that poses a 63 damage risk to me here. And yeah, you gotta press A, not back A. More bread, healing item. Really not too much exciting. This left room, that is our boss of the area. So we'll go clear out this room first. Not that it matters, but I mean, you could get into a situation where you need the life up cream. It's essentially a potion. And not too terribly much to say else about the rats. Our boss of the area here, like I said, it turns into a damage race. But if you're not up to snuff, it's going to kill you. Simple as that. That's why I made sure that I got to level 12 before we came here, so that I could make sure that I win the damage race. Heal up before you go into the fight. He's got 2 to 3 attacks. Like, he's got a straight up attack, he's got PK Alpha that he'll hit you with, and he can also do PK Gamma. If you remember Starmen from Earthbound itself, then you'll recognize this guy. Very similar sprite. This is where they were originally, and they're aliens, because aliens. And you see PK Beam Alpha doing just under 30 damage to us, and his attacks are going to do roughly 15. So you're going to alternate attacking, healing, attacking, healing. He doesn't have much HP, so if you're at a decent level, then you should be able to take him out just fine. Here he actually runs out of PP before he can use PK Beam Gamma, which would have reflected thanks to my Franklin badge and instant killed him. So we get to have another 2 rounds, which is just alright with me. And Starman Jr. is defeated. Woo! Nice 30 HP. and the odd noise that drove the animals crazy has died down, so no more encounters in the zoo, which is wonderful. But there's one more thing that we got to get in the zoo before we bail. We have to stop and talk to the wonderful singing monkey for our third song. Yes, a singing monkey, who is right here. You check on the sign, and the monkey starts singing. Woo, woo, or however the song goes. And that's 3 songs down, 5 to go. And we're only on the 3rd episode, or is this the 4th episode? Yeah, it's the 4th episode. Whatever. I had a horrible sign-off in the last episode because I lost track of time while I was post-commentating, and, you know, I'm recording the commentary for these in a batch so I can get ahead here. Had a nice little break after the Pokemon series, kind of recharge my own batteries. And so that's the zoo. Now, after the zoo, we want to go to the next town of Maryville. Now, there's a curfew, which is what they use as the plot wall for you. A curfew that's been keeping you in Podunk rather than Maryville. Like, nobody gets to cross between the two for the period of time. And then we'll go down here and talk to some guards, and that's what they'll tell you, because I forget that, you know, this bridge isn't accessible yet till after something else happens, story-wise. Because we have a bit of a pit stop before we get to Maryville. And the map is just very, very big and spread out. I mean, it's an RPG, naturally, but it takes a lot of walking to get anywhere. You don't get the teleport spell until much later in the game, which is kind of frustrating. But I go back and talk to the mayor. I think I do anyways. Let him know the situation's resolved. Come on, get there, Breach. Get there, little Breach. Why, if it's not our hero, Breach, you have tiger droppings on your clothes. Haha, just joking. Now run along, kid. So, the mayor, kind of a sleazeball, wanted to use us for his re-election campaign after we rescued Pippi. And now he's just making jokes about we have crap all over ourselves. So, that's nice. Here, I really should have cut out some of the battles. They do stretch this episode longer than it needs to be, because they get a little out of hand. But that happens from time to time in a turn-based JRPG. I mean, you're going to have encounters, and you're going to have stretches where you get more encounters, like this one, than other stretches. So it comes with the territory. It is what it is, basically. You punch stuff till it dies. Now here, Marysville, excuse me. Till the curfew is lifted, no one is crossed. That's by order of the town mayor. Psst. By the way, kid, they might let you cross the bridge northeast to the zoo. Oh, you mean where we just friggin' were? Yeah, typically, in a Let's Play, I probably would have skipped coming down here, just because it's not necessary at all. But again, it's, you know, really my second time playing this game, so I figured, you know, why not? That, and I kind of forgot that we had to make a pit stop up here. Because there's a place we gotta go before we can go to Marysville. And, off-screen, I'd used the bank to deposit great-grandfather's diary. You'll see up here why that was a mistake. And I will be cutting part of the game out, where I go back to get it. Because you do need it to progress up here. Much to my chagrin. And you have the same typical battles that you have for the opening area, all through here. Crow, snake, hippie, wally, stray dog, snake. I already said snake, whatever. It's not exciting is what I'm telling you. Centipede, yeah. Which is like your base slime in this game. The long walking and then encounters and not getting teleport until very late in the game are some of the aspects that could be a real turnoff. The scaling as well can be a real turnoff for someone trying to get into this game. So if you like JRPGs or like the story but don't want to deal with that, I'd say the Let's Play watching is the way to go with that. Otherwise, if you can handle those, I would say by all means I would encourage anyone to buy and play this game. Especially if you're a big fan of, classic turn-based RPGs. But damn it, this encounter rate is getting obnoxious at this point. Like I run my Let's Plays PG nowadays, and it's getting hard to keep it that way with this little stretch. Yes, it is. But it wouldn't be prudent, and I'm not going to do it. So, what are some of the little stretch gauntlets in games that you guys run into that kind of grind your gears, for lack of a more polite term to say about them? Like, the long walking with high encounter rates, whenever it's just trash mobs, that gets me a lot of the times. There's a strange rock-like thing. You should definitely go check it out. We'll let you through. You're not going to get to Marysville through here, but we'll let you go check out this rock. And you want to make sure that you have at least one PP going into this cave up here. If you don't, you're going to be really annoyed. As annoyed as I was whenever I discovered I needed a key item in this cave. But there's a rock up here in a cave, and we should go check it out, because, an adult told us to. And, kids are supposed to do what adults tell them to. They're also the only ones capable of saving the world, if we're supposed to believe these JRPGs. So, yeah. It's like Final Fantasy III. Let's send a group of 6-year-old orphans to go save the world. It's the Japanese 3, not the American. American being Final Fantasy VI. Now, you come up to this big shell here, and you use telepathy on it. And you have a question enter your mind. Who has lost his tail? And I get annoyed here. I think, oh, well, what's going on? I read the diary earlier. I should know this. And we're going to cut to getting great-grandfather's diary because I'm an idiot. Yeah, be right back. Okay, we are back with great-grandfather's diary because I'm dumb. Now we're going to use telepathy on this again. Felt the question enter his mind. Who has lost his tail? Finding the entry in great-grandfather's diary. Breach read out loud, the forgotten one of the ship that sails the cosmos. Bam! Teleported to Magicant. Now, we're going to end off the episode here in Magicant before we do anything. We're going to just talk around to people, because that's what you do whenever you get to a new town. I'm going to grind up to about level 15 before I go anywhere too terribly difficult. And the way I'm going to do that... Ooh, there's a guitar player that's a hermit. Not a bad-looking man. Best of all, he's quite a poet. Oh, yeah. This house here is a free inn for you, essentially. It's like going back and talking to your mom. Guess what? Yes, it's scotch. We will make you some scotch. And then they let you... You get some scotch, you get to sleep it off, and then you're all better. So, off-screen, before the next episode, I'm going to get up to level 15 here. Just walking back and forth right here. And there are some really tough enemies and ones you don't want to attack, and I will go over them in the next episode. Yes, I said it right. There's enemies you don't want to attack. These snails, though, you can see like based on how much damage they're doing to me and how much damage I'm doing to them, why I want to level grind a little bit here. And there was an example of the approaching slowly. But this has been Breach. If you enjoyed the video, give it a comment, like, dislike, whatever, really. Just let me know how you felt about it. If you enjoy my content, feel free to subscribe to the channel, get updated on everything I'm doing. And yeah, I'll be back at level 15 next time with more Mother 1. Thank you for watching.